Um, this video is to help me. Fuck. This video is to help me better free flow my ideas to a place where I can like rebound them back with myself in the future or other people. So as much of a help as I want this to be to somebody else, it is also a help to me. So first thing you should know is that this video is going to be talking about like snowballing. So, you know, um having difficulties in college, problems with depression, time management, um and just having trouble meditating about deep thoughts about college and like where I was standing, specifically why I dropped out. Um, and Yeah, so let's dive. Last thing I should say, if I want to make this video as short as possible. If this video realize how you're spending your time. If look at the amount of time in this video. Is there something that's pressing to you? Can you wait on this video? Is this really helping you as a person? If don't this isn't supposed to be entertainment. This is like kind of research. I like emotional research almost. If if you currently don't have problems in school, or you're not like specifically interested in this, then I would recommend watching something else. Um, that being said, let's get right into it. So, accountability. What started the snowball? So, um, going in this template of, I had 4 classes this semester, and it took quite a bit of effort, to for it to have been successful had I had gone to classes. So, what started the snowball was missing a single assignment, missing one task that I knew or didn't know had to be done. Um, so this, you know, things do come up sometimes where I have to miss school to help out a family member, help out a friend in an emergency situation. Um, these are to be expected. You should expect random things like a tire to pop, or something that's very important to your daily life that breaks because of planned obsolescence, or you need to spend money on food because food in your fridge spoiled. I don't know. I was not accounting for things that were easy to account for, or things that weren't being accounted for. I wasn't really accounting for anything. Um, so I set myself up in an environment where it was very easy to miss an assignment, and it was very difficult to actually finish an assignment on time. So that started the snowball where I would have problems that I could not finish in a given amount of time. So I told myself, I'm going to do this later. I don't know when later, but I can't do it right now. It's too much. I would have a breakdown. And this led to the accumulation of problems I had to deal with in the future, and not being able to break those up down in a time. Why am I monitoring? Be able to break those down in a timely manner to be able to execute in the long run. So a lot of this has to do with not being able to organize my thoughts, um, in a in in a chronological way, or like a space kind of a way. I also was not able to organize like my physical space, very well, and I'm still working on that right now. Um, so, um, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So, uh, lying. So I was my subconscious thoughts and my conscious thoughts. I I was so not disciplined that those I couldn't even distinguish between the two. Sometimes I would be so hungry that I would, say things that are ridiculous, like I need to go get Taco Bell over finishing this assignment. Thinking about that now, that doesn't really make sense, but I I had a massive eating problem, and I kind of ignored that. Um, my I had made a lot of statements to, right. I think because consciously I was being so stupid that my subconscious was able to like outsmart me to like so I could get like what I wanted, like smoking weed and eating Taco Bell and instant gratification, right? Being addicted to the internet. Um, I I value those in the moment as being more important than like working out or eating healthy, and those were little punches that I wasn't able to metaphorically roll with every day. It was my tolerance for bullshit or stress had gotten so low that the mere punch of wanting to eat a taco from Taco Bell was able to overwhelm my ability to do something important that I needed to do. That was like a small task. So being able to like that's the the truth of a certain given statement in any like context of dialogue, no matter how big or no matter where it is, if it's in my own head or if it's talking to somebody else, the fact of one of those statements being true about my emotions of like, I feel this way because I'm doing this because I want this because I think I should do this because I am now doing this because, or any given state of my internal or external physical well-being or in physical space, any statement that I would say, I was lost in the truth because I didn't know if my subconscious was saying that or my conscious was saying that because I was so blinded by all, like, my reality was getting mixed up and the truth had become hard to determine. So this leads to sort of a I like to call it compartment syndrome. That was something I had that on my foot a while back, where I would have so much pressure on, like, I had set myself up in a situation so that, like, theoretically, if I were to successfully complete the semester, I would have to give my 100% all of the time during the day. Like, sleep not a lot, do a whole lot more work than I could do, and I wasn't being realistic at all. And so it led to a moment where at any given instance there would be so much stuff that I think that I had to do that the only reasonable thing to do was to forget about it, to numb myself, and to be okay in the moment, just to be okay in the moment, like kicking the can down the road. Then, similarly to putting an oil mat in fresh oil, the oil, the depression, it just started to seep in through my life from everywhere, and I thought it was, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just, the world or me not being able to do it, and then all of a sudden comments from people would tear me down, because I couldn't reconcile with them in my own head about what other people thought about me, what was actually going on in my life, because I couldn't even argue in my own head about what was right or wrong, because just there was so much. I had so many unfinished thoughts and I was being so unhealthy that at any given moment I couldn't even think about these thoughts because I was putting myself in a really bad situation. So that, the next thing I wrote was that there ends up being like the inevitable crash of my failure of the semester. No matter how I saw reality was coming into sight, and that's when I knew, because even in my state of madness where I couldn't see reality straight, any way that I saw myself going forward there was going to be some sort of crash in my semester, and I could even see that from my point of dissolution, if that's even a word. So I took it. I'm going to talk about meditation here for a second. When I say meditation, I'm referring to the thing that I do. So it's hard to use this in a context that makes sense to like a lot of different people on the internet, because people might take the meditation to mean what they read in a book, or what their parents told them, or what, I don't know. Meditation for me is realizing that I have unfinished thoughts kind of super entangled in my head, and that they get really heavy over time. And so I need to get in a space where I can try to remove all external stimuli, so that the only thing that I can hear or think about are these tangled thoughts in my head, and I can start to unravel them. That's what helped me kind of usurp this whole problem from the outside, because it's like a really bad relationship. It's hard to see what's going on objectively when you're in that relationship. So I had some unnoticed major problems. So I had social problems, which I think all stem from I think they stem from my weight, honestly. I have almost no self-confidence, almost zero, actually. It's getting a bit better. I get in my own head about what other people think about me all the time, so I'll go up to my Q lab partner, and I'll see that, I don't, she's being very nice and sincere to me, and it's weird, because, like, that usually doesn't happen. People are, like, just weird, and I would get into all these conversations in my head about what she thinks about me, about, what, and ultimately, all these realities in my head about her and me in the situation, they're so wrongly extrapolated into the future that I get so worried about all these different things. But in reality, it's like, every thought that I just had about this social interaction between me and this girl stemmed from the fact that I'm not confident about myself, about my image, my weight, and it was me. It was, and this problem I have with society, socialization, came from my lack of confidence, and the lack of belief or faith in my own self to accomplish any given task. And this social problem extended to, like, my classmates, my teachers, classmates. So I didn't know what to say to people, because I had just, been lying to everybody. I didn't know what truth to say or how to say it. And the fact, assuming that I had done all of my homework up until any given point in that semester, I still would have had problems socializing with people, like, given, like, all the lies and stuff about, like, lying to myself and lying to other people. Given that aside, assuming I had not lied to people, and I had done my schoolwork up until that point, I still would have had problems socializing with people, because in any instance, I wouldn't have been confident with myself talking to them. I'm a few years behind other students, and I'm self-confident about that. I have low self-confidence about that. I think that I'm stupid. I think all these bad thoughts, because, ultimately I wasn't happy with myself about them. Time management and, like, space management, those were unnoticed major problems that I had, because those are tools I didn't have at the time. I still don't have them. I'm trying to work on them. Being able to see my big goal that I'm going for, graduating college, and basically everything on this board right here. Being able to break down all of my classes into all of my problems to determine where exactly I'm at in school, how I can do my one assignment, how that one assignment affects my grade, how all my my surroundings affects how I think, and how just, I had no spatial or time orientation or organization at all. So I had no orientation about it either. I didn't know where I was. So I had, just thought I'll kick it down the line. I'll learn about that later. No, those are things I needed to actively think about because I didn't have any of them. Now, so, attacking, trying to unravel these problems takes a long time, and I understand that the amount of time it would take to unravel these massive problems of mine exceeds the amount of time in a given day, and I can't afford to just sit here and think about my problems all day, because then I would go broke. But what I need to do is every single day solve more of my problems than the problems grow, or make more progress in my life than entropy slowly breaks down of my life, if that makes any sense. I need to make progress. Talking with, and I think thinking about my failures in college specifically, I realized that one of my biggest problems was that I didn't have a good relationship with my dad, and a lot of my self-confidence, a lot of my issues specifically came from external validation and not getting that from my dad, and realizing that, I fundamentally was not okay with falling into the same tropes that my dad fell in. And I was, that's more of the snowball thing. And I realized that just opening up, just being open with my parents helped out quite a bit. Now, these specific problems that I'm having probably won't relate to anyone else or specifically, but I was just by getting rid of my phone, getting rid of social media, and putting myself in a place where all I have are my own thoughts, I realized that these major problems existed, and now I can tackle them. And it led to me understanding that there were these giant chunks of information that I didn't have going into college the first time, years ago. Yeah, hindsight's always 20/20, but if I don't realize the problems I'm making or the problems I'm creating, I'm not going to be able to fix them at all. So, I don't know. Maybe this helped somebody out. Maybe it didn't. But if you learned anything from this video, just try to accurately describe the value you're getting out of whatever you're doing, or being able to do it quickly. Is this 20-minute video, is it worth it to you? Did you learn something? I don't know. If it wasn't, that's perfectly fine. But just make sure that whatever it is that you're doing right now, at any given moment, you have to be able to explain how that's helping you to somebody else, or else you're gonna have problems mentally or physically or in the future. That's all I got right now.